Welcome to everyone, guys. I'm going to say, I'm going to say this was huge disrespectful act, and yeah, they don't respect Glover Teixeira. That's true. They don't respect Glover Teixeira at all. So they don't respect Glover Teixeira at all. Have you seen that he hung up his gloves in front of the empty hall? I mean, what kind of respect is that? In front of the empty hall, he had to hang up the gloves. We use term filthy animals in an insulting way. Yes, when it comes to this crowd, where was the lie? There was no lie. There was no lie. That was absolute true. That was absolute true. I got to say, it was absolute true. And it was huge level of disrespect. I have to say it was a huge, massive level of disrespect that was shown by the crowd, as that is that is something I haven't seen in a long time. Really much something I haven't seen in a long time. And I'm so sorry for Glover, as I'm pretty much emotional. I am pretty much emotional, I'm not gonna lie. I'm extremely emotional, especially when it comes to a good fighter. And Glover, for me, Glover is a good fighter. Glover is a very good fighter, and he didn't deserve such a treatment. There is no way he deserved such a treatment, and this was not a treatment. It was a shipment, really. It really was a shipment, and the crowd, the crowd literally humiliated Glover. I mean, he came to Brazil. He came to Brazil to retire, to fight for the last time. Of course, he was announcing that he was not going to retire. I mean, that comes as a natural. That comes as a natural. Of course, I mean, he was thinking not to retire. Everybody doesn't want to retire, which is kind of, I'm telling, this is kind of natural, kind of normal. But at the end of the day, he lost to Jamal Hill, suffered a massive amount of damage, and of course, he had to do what he did. He didn't have a choice. Got to say it, he didn't have a choice. He really had to retire because of too much damage. But he is a legend, and I mean, 43 years of age, such a legend. And when such a legend retires, when such a legend hangs up his gloves, what is crowd doing? Disrespect him. Such a level of disrespect, man. Crowd is like, you couldn't wait for that match. I mean, come on, you couldn't wait for this match. You couldn't wait for his match to end. That was all he was asking. He was only asking for the match to end. That was the one and only thing he was asking. And what did crowd do? They rush for work. They don't want to stay. They have uh, they have other obligations. And even rankings shake up now. Glover Teixeira gonna be removed from the rankings, and yeah, he is going to be removed from the rankings. And now it's questionable whether Jamal Hill is going to be number one light heavyweight, despite he is the champ of the division. I don't know whether he is going to be number one or not, but there is one thing I do know. I do know that this is a massive sign of disrespect, and that's not something I can go through, as I'm not a fan of disrespect, especially in the world of mixed martial arts, especially in the world of mixed martial arts. I hate when people get disrespected, and I don't know why they disrespect that guy. Like, I mean, Shogun Hua, okay, they stayed for Shogun Hua, but Glover deserved more. Glover definitely deserved more. I can't understand people who disrespect their own fighter, who are behaving like it's not a big deal. Like, it is a big deal. Believe me, it is a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's an extremely big deal, because that's Glover Teixeira. That's not just anybody. That's Glover Teixeira, man. That is Glover Teixeira. It matters. It matters, man. Every single fighter matters, especially when he fights for the last time in his homeland. It matters. It matters a lot, and I can't understand why crowd did what they had to do. why they didn't stay. You could have just waited. Literally, you could have just waited. You could have just enjoyed. I mean, you enjoyed the fight, and that was the fight of the night for a reason. Let's be honest, that was the fight of the night for a reason. For me, it was a fight of the night, and nobody can pursue me. Nobody can pursue me otherwise. It was not the other way around. It was. It was not the other way around. It was. It was an amazing fight. Imagine that fight. Just imagine that fight as the last fight of the career by a 43-year-old guy. Just by a 43-year-old guy. Imagine that amazing fight. It was an amazing fight by Glover Teixeira. It was the fight of the night. They banked 50K, but everything was thrown away. Everything was thrown into a shade. Crowd, fans threw a shade on this amazing performance of these great warriors, and especially on the amazing performance of the hometown fighter, Glover Teixeira, of the homeland fighter, Glover Teixeira. Also for Shogun Hua, they stayed for Shogun Hua, and that's pretty much okay. I mean, you got two stars. Those stars came to fight in Brazil because they wanted to gain some respect. Just show them respect. Is it so hard? Is it so hard to show respect to people? Is it so hard to show respect to people who literally sacrifice their lives to keep you entertained? Is it that hard? No, it isn't. Believe me, it isn't. Some people are going to say it is hard. No, it isn't, man. It was just. I mean, Glover Teixeira is not retiring every single day. Glover Teixeira retires once in his life. Mauricio Shogun Hua retires once in his life. It was a massive sign of disrespect. One of the most massive signs of disrespect I have ever seen. And I just need to post this on Twitter. Just 1 second. Okay. All right. So I'm just discussing that retirement. Like, many people gonna say it was not a big deal. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. It's a massive, massive sign of disrespect. Like, I will never understand why he didn't get the attention he deserved. Why he didn't get the attention. What was the reason behind it? What happened? What was the background of it? Why were people so much on and off when it comes to such a great fighter like Glover Teixeira? Oh, it was the middle. They are going to say like it was the middle of the night, but that's just blabbering. That's just blabbering. That's just a pathetic excuse. A pathetic excuse for the disrespect of one of the greatest warriors of the game. Yeah, where was the lie? There was no lie, Dan Goldstein. There was no lie at all. We used the term filthy animals, and yes, disrespectful animals. That is how I can call them. Imagine somebody dedicates his whole fighting life, his whole fighting career to one state, Brazil, and he proudly represents Brazil. It's not just Glover was a huge patriot. He was a very, very patriotic guy, and Glover is a guy who literally made something big for the state of Brazil, and he wanted to fight in Brazil. He wanted to fight in Brazil in his final outing, and you've seen what happened. You've seen such a level of disrespect. What happened with that crowd? I mean, why did you do it? Why did you betray your great guy? Why did you betray your own guy? That is something I will never understand. Never betray your own guy. That is something that perfectly makes no sense to me. Like, if you betray someone else, but not your own guy, because your own guy did nothing. Your own guy was just trying to enjoy the game. That was one and only thing Glover Teixeira was trying to do. And you've seen what happened to him. With him to keep Hill safe, and the audience all left the auditorium when Glover lost. Shitty ass low class fans. I agree, Lolita. I absolutely agree, Lolita, because this is shitty-ass low-class fans. I definitively agree they were low-class fans because that's a massive sign of disrespect. That is a massive, massive sign of disrespect. So, yeah, low-class fans, very much low-class. That's something I heavily disagree. I don't know how can you disrespect a guy like that. Just tell me how can you disrespect a guy like that? Such a great guy, such an amazing guy, and everybody left when Glover started losing. I mean, even in round three, if you've seen, I rewatched today. In round three, hall was like half empty. Until the end of round five, hall was literally empty because Glover was losing. I mean, so that was the last match of his career, man. That was the last match of his career. Yeah, low class, like casuals. Did you come to watch MMA or you just came to show big muscles, to post photos, and to say that you were hanging around with the stars? I've got a question for you. Did you just come? You just come to show your shitty ass? Did you just come to show your shitty ass? Because I didn't. This was a huge, huge sign of disrespect. And I will never understand the crowd that boos to their own fighter. Like, why, man? I mean, so what if he lost? He came to Brazil. He brought UFC to Brazil. Where is respect? Where is gratitude? There is no respect and there is no gratitude in that. There is only a huge level of disrespect. That's one and only thing available here. A huge level of disrespect. And I'm dazed. I'm stunned. I'm literally stunned with what happened. I'm literally dazed and stunned with what happened. With what happened in Brazil. I just don't have a comment. Literally, I don't have a comment as many people told me this was never gonna happen. But you know, low grade stuff happens. Low grade stuff happens. And unfortunately, that's the part of the game. That is the part of the game, but not like this. I just don't want it to happen like this. It's a shame. It's really a shame. It's a brutality. Yeah, even that will call it a brutality. Because for me it was a brutality. Like, say, brutality, immortality, or you name it. For me it was a brutality towards Glover Teixeira. Because Glover Teixeira didn't deserve something like that. He didn't deserve to get booed. He didn't deserve to lose. No. He didn't deserve to lose confidence of the crowd. That's something he has never deserved. And I don't know why crowd chose to do that in the first place. That perfectly makes no sense to me. To me, it perfectly makes no sense, and I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering why they chose to do something horrible, something. To me, it's similar to brutality in Mortal Kombat. You know, you can choose between brutality and fatality, but I think they chose brutality over fatality, which is worse. You know, with fatality, at least you know what's gonna happen. But with brutality, they just slam and dunk you, they just destroy you, whoop your ass, and that's what crowd did. It was the Mortal Kombat brutality. For me, it was a Mortal Kombat brutality on the face of Glover Teixeira by the Brazilian crowd. Mortal Kombat brutality. And it kind of reminded me of Shao Kahn's brutality, if you know what am I talking about. They were so, so brutal towards a guy who dedicated his whole life to fighting, so brutal towards a guy who literally tried to stay the best in the game, who tried to push the story as much as he could. He tried to push the story as much as he could, but that's how they showed gratitude to him. They showed gratitude to him by not staying until the end of the match. I mean, what kind of fans are you? Are you just casuals or what the heck are you? I mean, for me, those are just casuals. But like casuals with zero knowledge, with zero respect for the game, with zero knowledge of the game, they are just pathetic casuals, for me at least. Very much the horde of pathetic casuals. And if you were a die-hard fan of the fastest growing sport in the world, you would have never behaved like that. You would have never behaved like that if you were the fan of the fastest, if you were the real fan of the fastest growing sport in the world. That's not how you do it. You must do it otherwise. No, at least in the first place, you must learn. You must learn to behave properly. And those fans, they need a lesson. They really need a lesson. They really need a big lesson. So, if you're asking me, that lesson, that lesson hasn't been given. That lesson hasn't been given. And if you ask me, when it comes to this crowd, somebody should teach them a lesson. Somebody should definitely teach them a lesson because they don't know. They don't know how to respect people. And I've seen disrespect, but this was the worst thing that I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, you don't wait until the end of the fight of the night. I mean, if it was a boring fight, I could have understood it. If Glover Teixeira like ate one shot and he refused to attack etc. But he was fighting. He put all in. His whole heart was in the game. He put his whole mind, his whole soul, his whole heart into the game. And what happened? Disrespect. Congrats. Disrespect on a guy. On a guy who really dedicated his whole life to the world of mixed martial arts. That is outstanding. That is outstanding. I mean, congrats. Just congrats. It's a pathetic applause. It really is a pathetic applause because you are pathetic. I'll be honest, you are pathetic. Congrats, you are pathetic. You are a pathetic piece of crowd because I can't believe what you did. It was fight of the night, man. It was the fight of the night. Really. I mean, it was the fight of the night. Come on. Some people tried so hard to participate in the fight of the night, but is that how you show respect to the actors of the fight of the night? No, that's not the way to show respect. That's not the way to show respect. I can't tell you that. At least I didn't learn you to do it that way. It's an act of disrespect, not an act of respect. But some people are pretty much disrespectful by nature, and that is just in their nature. I have to say, shitty ass low class fans, that's how they behave. They don't care much for the opinion, and they are just locked in their world of visions, world of fantasies. I just have to criticize them all day because they didn't do anything for the development of this sport. They literally didn't do anything for the development of this sport. It's brutality. I mean, come on. Low class, low grade. Low grade fans, what else can I say? The lowest you can go. Yeah, that's the lowest you can go. Horrible. Just horrible. It's just horrible, man. A horrible piece of the equipment. Such a huge level of disrespect. And let's see from the news what's happening. When we discussed that, I discussed the negative aspect of the game. I'm going to react to some other news. Charles Oliveira targets Islam Makhachev rematch. Targets Islam Makhachev rematch in late 2023. I had 10 minutes off on a bad night. He's targeting rematch. Well, I don't know whether this rematch is going to come to fruition or not. Doesn't sound too realistic to me. Ex-champ Luke Rockhold announces free agency. I want to go and fuck some people up. Whoa. Luke Rockhold announces free agency. That's interesting. Sage Northcutt set to return after 4-year layoff at 1 on Prime Video 10. On to the next one, matches to make after UFC 283. Morning report. Islam Makhachev confirms Khabib Nurmagomedov will not be in his corner at UFC 284. Okay, at least I'm glad because of one thing. Thanks God Khabib will not be in anybody's corner anymore. I'm sick of that guy. I'm really sick of that guy, thanks God. Okay, finally good news. Marcelo Holm versus Daniel James, Kat Zingano versus Slam McCourt, set for Bellator 293. Excellent. Let me see. What else? Floyd Mayweather books next exhibition bout against ex-Bellator fighter reality TV star Aaron Chalmers. Yeah, Aaron Chalmers. I know that guy. He fought at Bellator. Actually, I'm a fan of Aaron Chalmers. That guy is actually very, very nice. Very nice guy, very friendly. Very friendly. But let me see what was the Luke Rockhold doing. I need to see what was Luke Rockhold doing. I want to go and fuck some people up. Your man's a free agent, he said on Monday's the MMA Hour, free and clear, and I'm ready to and re-inspired to go out there and do something new. I've paid my dues, and Campbell granted me my wish, he said. UFC officials confirmed the Rockhold's release to MMA fighting on Monday. Rockhold said he is training every day and can return immediately if he takes a boxing match, he said. A recent ankle surgery had not gone as planned and had delayed his return to training, but he'd rebounded and felt better than ever along with the move back to California from Florida, where he previously trained. He felt rejuvenated and eager to try something new. Hello, Ginge, how are you doing? I need a new setting, Rockhold said. I need a new challenge. You get burned out in the game when you've done so much and you need new obstacles. And Rockhold said in MMA return at PFL, Bellator, or One Championship and other combat sports endeavor, he didn't rule out a return to the UFC, but repeatedly said he needed challenges that excited him. That door is always open, but I want to go and fuck some people up, Rockhold said, letter adding. If you want bulls, we can go box. Beat up these YouTubers too. It seems many people disrespect YouTubers. Hello, Ginge. How are you doing, my friend? Just to give you a massive shout out, thank you so much for stopping by in this chat. And also, UFC 278 fight was Rockhold's fourth loss in 5 outings since he captured the UFC middleweight title. With the TKO of Chris Weidman at UFC 194 in 2015, he was knocked out by El Romero in a fight for the interim middleweight title at UFC 221. Then knocked out by Amblaovic in a move to light heavyweight at UFC 239. Also, Rockhold said after his return from 3-year layoff, he didn't feel satisfied with where he left things and felt he had more to offer. Now he's free to compete wherever he wants. He believes the best is ahead. I feel like I'm just getting better. I feel like I'm finding my tempo and it feels good. I've got mountains to climb. That's awesome. Oh, all good. That's awesome, man. I'm very much glad that you're feeling great. I just took a look at the news and I've seen some very much positive changes. Yeah, I've seen some very much positive changes in the news, and at least one good thing: Khabib Nurmagomedov won't be at Makhachev's corner. At least one thing that can make me happy because I really can't stand that guy. I can't stand disrespectful people, and that is finally one good news. Finally, one good news, and I'm extremely happy for it. Aside of a bad news, aside of the horrible behavior of Brazilian crowd, and aside of Luke Rockhold's UFC release and other stuff, I got finally one good news. Finally, one good news says that we are going to see something really nice coming up. UFC without Khabib Nurmagomedov, man. How good can it be? I mean, I'm so sick of that guy. How good can it be? One disrespectful guy less. Yeah, at least one disrespectful guy less. So much disrespect. so much disrespect was shown on the end of Khabib Nurmagomedov, and finally, finally, I can officially confirm that he is not going to be in Makachev's corner. We are going to see some other faces, some new faces, and some people who know what are they. Some people who know what are they gonna do. Some people that really know what are they gonna do, and what is going to happen, what is going to happen in the future. And I'm telling you, massive things are going to happen in the future, because we now have a new champ at UFC 205 pound roster. We have a new champ, and that new champ's name is Jamal Hill. But he'll have to defend it against, maybe against Prohashka. Maybe he'll have to defend it against Ankalaev. Who knows? Anything is possible. But I doubt they want Ankalaev for the champ, because Ankalaev is not profitable. He is not a profitable choice, and maybe Ankalaev is not going to bring the greatest results for the promotion. And on the other side, I doubt that they want Ankalaev for the champ, and that idiot Ramzan Kadyrov tweeted like Dana has something to do with the judges, but it was a clean draw. Like when I was scoring, it was very much of a clean draw. Couldn't be cleaner than that. But people don't understand it. Some people are simply narrow-minded dumbasses, and one of the reasons I don't like people from Dagestan and Chechnya is because they are extremely, extremely one-dimensional, and they don't understand that every sport has rules. They don't understand that the sport has rules, and this lovely sport has amazing rule set. And you got to follow the rules, like damage. Damage is parameter number one. I didn't write these rules. I mean, the commission was writing rules, and damage is parameter number one. So parameter number one is damage, while parameter number two is octagon control, controlling the opponent on the canvas, and anything else. I'm unsure. I'm unsure, like how every judge sees it, etc. But I know that those types of fans are definitively the fans I would never love to have near me. I would never love to have them near me. Definitely, I think those fans are definitely horrible, and I think it would have been a horrible move. So I think it would have been a horrible move to have those fans nearby you. Yeah, to have those fans nearby you, that would be a horrible, horrible move. Maybe it would have been the most horrible move the world has ever seen. And the same thing happened in the case of Glover Teixeira. They showed what does the word disrespect means. And the word disrespect means a massive amount of disrespect. Like it's one of the worst things that have ever happened, that was ever seen all around the game. Yeah, it was one of the worst experiences the world has ever seen. Literally one of the worst experiences, and I will never understand. I will never understand why this had to happen. Why literally this had to happen, especially to, for example, why this had to happen to a guy like Glover Teixeira, because Glover Teixeira didn't deserve such a treatment, and it was a horrible treatment. It really was a horrible treatment by the fans. Like, how could you do that to Glover? Literally, how could you do that to Glover? Glover was a fucking legend, man, and he still is a legend. He is a Hall of Famer. He will be a legend forever. And fans are just, oh, I'm watching my ass. I'm watching my ass. Who gives a damn about you, man? Literally, who gives a damn? Show some respect towards the guy. Respect is number one. If you're not behaving well, you can't expect people to respect you if you don't respect them. And this was a huge, massive example of disrespect. It really was a huge and massive example of disrespect. So I heavily disagree with everything that happened. I heavily I heavily disagree with how crowd treated a legendary fighter from Brazil, Glover Teixeira, and I will never support that type of behavior because that type of behavior it's unhealthy. That type of behavior is unhealthy. That is unhealthy relationship, and that is unhealthy. That is an unhealthy way to treat a real star and a legend and an amazing guy because that guy really was amazing. I got to say, he really was amazing. He really was a rock star, a superstar, and yeah, I see him as a rock star and a superstar. And I know, I'm gonna get heavily criticized by majority of people because of that. But Glover is a star. For me, Glover is a star. Glover is a real legend, and nobody is going to make me feel different. Nobody is going to make me think differently. That is not going to happen. That is simply not going to happen because I will never change my mind. I will never change my mind when it comes to Glover Teixeira, and of course, I will never change my mind when it comes to the impression of Glover Teixeira. For me, once a warrior, always a warrior. Oh, Ginge, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once a warrior, always a warrior. That's an impression. That's just one of the best impressions I have ever seen in my whole life. That was Glover Teixeira. Like, you get battered for 25 minutes. You get battered. You are eating shot after shot. You are literally sacrificing everything you have. And then, at the end of the day, what happens? Well, at the end of the day, some guy or some guys from the crowd are like, "Oh, he's losing the fight. Let us leave. Let us leave the arena. Let us leave the arena." Genesee Arena, shame on you. Shame on you. Yeah. Shame on you. You are shitty ass low class fans, as Lolita said. Shitty ass low class fans, absolutely. I understand if you're a casual or I understand if you don't give a damn about the upcoming match, the upcoming fighter, or something like that. I can understand it to some point, but I cannot understand people who sacrifice their lives and then get booed by their own fans because. They were losing the fight, a championship fight, at the age of 43. Second oldest UFC champion takes some doing with all the killers fighting. Absolutely, man. I mean, he was not Randy Couture, but let's be honest, Glover Teixeira, at 43 years of age, he was fighting way better than some people in their 20s. I mean, imagine somebody fighting at 43 years of age against people in their 20s. I mean, is it okay? No, it's not. Not okay towards him. It's not okay because he is putting his whole body on fire. Yeah, he's putting his whole body on fire at the age of 43. At the age of 43, where you usually have 9 to 5 job, when you're living a peaceful life, some people can't even walk at the age of 43. And Glover Teixeira was fighting with the best. He was taking damage. He was getting better at the age of 43. So was it amazing? Yes, it was. Yes, it was one of the most amazing moments. For me at least. For them, that's questionable. Same age as myself. I couldn't imagine going against killer 10, 20 years younger. Me neither. I also can't imagine myself going against a killer like 15 years younger. I am doing this in the training session. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am fighting with guys who are 18, 90, who are 18, 19, 20 years old in their primes. I'm doing that. But I'm doing that because I'm just a crazy guy. I'm doing that, and sometimes I really get battered or dominated on the ground. But that's me. I mean, but it's hard to imagine somebody at the age of 43 doing that. Hello to Moose. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. And he was beating them too. Oh, of course, he was beating them too, James. Hello to Moose. How are you doing? I'm also great. Yeah, he was beating them, James. You're absolutely right. Glover Teixeira was beating killers, and I sometimes get better, sometimes they better me. So it's like a different perception. But Glover was beating some of the best. I mean, against Prohashka, he was winning the fight until he got submitted. I mean, he was winning Yuri Prohashka, man. I was like, what the heck is happening? Is it possible that Glover was gonna win that fight? I was so impressed by his amazing performance. And then we've seen brutal. Some men are just made different. Absolutely, somebody is made of iron. You've got many people who are made of iron. And Glover Iron Chin Teixeira. Have you seen what happened to him in the match against Jamal Hill? Like this cut here. Imagine me with this cut, still fighting. I couldn't imagine myself fighting with such a nasty cut. With a smaller cut, okay, but that was a nasty cut, man. And Glover was like, "I can fight. I can continue." And crowd was so disrespectful towards him. Yeah, some men are just different, you know. Imagine you are saying that you can't imagine yourself fighting with the 20 years younger killer. I mean, I'm just telling you, as a man who does that, I am fighting with 10 to 15 years younger kiddos in their primes. I am doing that, but you know, it's not easy to get bettered by those kiddos. Some people gonna say kiddos, but it's not easy when they better you. He is a savage. Yes, he is a savage. At the age of 43, he was in the best shape of his life. For example, UFC 209 could have been the end of his career when he fought Alexander Gustafsson. You know, because he lost in round 5, if I remember well. I think he lost in round 5. I think he lost in round 5. I'm unsure though. I think he lost in round 5 because of was it so some kind of a stoppage. But after that battering, I was thinking that Glover Teixeira was gonna retire because that was hard loss. That was a very very hard loss for Glover Teixeira, and that's when I started respecting that guy. I was like, man, you were going with Gustafsson for 5 rounds, and you entered the cage and you were fighting like you are you know, like you are a young guy. I noticed that too. He was in good physical shape. He was in amazing physical shape. But after UFC 209, literally after UFC 209, I was thinking that he was gonna retire because he really got brutally battered. He really got brutally battered in that fight, and I was really thinking that he was gonna retire. But you know what happened? He did not retire. He did not retire. I assume he didn't retire because of the fans. I thought Figgy was gonna retire too when he announced he's moving up. About Figgy, I was unsure that he was gonna retire because Figgy is a different mindset, you know. Glover is a guy who will try to win the title, and if he doesn't succeed, that's the end. For Figgy, that's not the end. Figgy is a guy, how to say, for Glover, he likes to fight, but fighting is not. How to say, fighting is not mandatory in his life. In Figgy's life, fighting is mandatory, you know. Fighting is really mandatory. He can't live without fighting. Glover can live without fighting if he must, if he has to. Figgy can't. When he had his gloves in his hands, I was thinking, oh no. Yes, I remember that moment. It was a very emotional moment. I was like, I was also saying, oh, no, 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 please don't do it, please don't do it. Yeah, I mean, we knew about Shogun Hua that he was going to retire, but I'm telling you, Fiki is a guy who loves to fight. And that is a huge difference. When you have a guy who loves to fight, and when you have a guy who thinks fighting is mandatory. For him, this is mandatory. You know, this is an obligation. This is like a way of living for Davison Figueiredo. And Davison Deus da Guerra, that's him. Question for you: what animal has Figgy got for a pet? Oh, I don't know that. Is it a cat, maybe? I know that Irene Aldana is a huge fan of cats and that Jasmine Jezudevicius is a huge fan of cats. No, I don't know that. What animal has Figgy got for a pet? I don't know. Let me check. His pet Buffalo Ferdinand. He's having Buffalo? He has a Buffalo? And he calls him Ferdinand. Whoa. A water buffalo. Yeah, you are right. Like a cat. Yeah, water buffalo, like a cat. No, he doesn't have a cat. No, he doesn't have a cat. But I've never seen somebody having a water buffalo as a pet. I have never seen something like that. Yeah, I've seen that. Whoa. It's impressive, man. He's extremely underrated. Look at those photos. Oh, water buffalo, huh? He is riding water buffalo. Man. I really want to see how is it to have such a pet. Vlad, how are you doing, homie? I'm doing great, Jeremiah. How are you doing? I'm doing great, man. Yeah. I just need to see what Figgy said about having a water buffalo as a pet. Once they trust you, they are very tameable. But you can't let them second guess you. They get aggressive and then you're in a big trouble. Oh. Davison Figueredo and his water buffalo Ferdinand. Ferdinand appears to be a big part of Figueredo's life and features regularly on the former flyweight champion's Instagram. The buffalo also serves as a mode of transport for Figueredo. Oh, he really is a transport for Figueredo. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome, man. Such an awesome, He's having water buffalo as a pet. That's interesting. I've never seen somebody having water buffalo as a pet. Pretty good. Super solid card this weekend. Excited for Spivak versus Lewis. Finally, haven't looked into much of the card other than knowing Tiara is my pick because he is a warrior. You think Tatsura Taira? Yes, I agree about Tatsura Taira being a pick. He writes him about. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Like when you sent me the link. I haven't known that he has a water buffalo as a pet. But that's very much interesting fact. That's something that really intrigues me. No, it really intrigues me the fact that he has water buffalo as a pet. It's really intriguing. It's intriguing. I got to say I'm really thrilled with that because he is moving limits. Hello, Mido. Glover Teixeira's retirement was sad. Glover is the true Rocky of UFC. Yes, he is. Hello, man. How you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna be live for 17 more minutes, so I'm gladly gonna chat with you. Yeah, I'm excellent. I'm excellent, my friend. I'm doing excellent. Get a buffalo. Uh, I'm more meow made guy. I prefer meowing, and cats are extremely clean. So I like. I'm a huge fan of cats. So if I ever take a pet, it's gonna be a cat. I'm just saying, if I ever take a pet, it's gonna be a cat. And it's gonna be a very nice cat. But I'm wondering how am I gonna call that pet. Doing as good as I can. I have been really busy nowadays. I'm not sure if I can stay for that long here. No problems, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. I understand that you're busy. You've got obligations. You must study, etc. It's okay. I know Ivanov is Bulgarian. I'm biased pick here. Who do you have? I have feel as is Tibura will do it. Unfortunately, you see this cap, and I have to pick against my guy. My pick is fight starts round 3, but if I must pick a side, I'm gonna go with Tibura. I just think Tibura is a bad opponent for my guy. I just think Tibura is a very, very, very bad opponent for my guy. Because I also think Tibura is gonna do it. Yeah, imagine what. I was born in Kustendil, and Blago Ivanov was born in Sofia. It's like only 90 kilometers away. I agree. I was shocked he beat Romanov. I was not. I was thinking Romanov was too hyped. I mean, let's be honest, Romanov was too hyped. Yeah, I'm trying to balance studying and other life stuff. with workout and training. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, whenever you can, you know that doors are always open here for you. You know that very well. So whenever I'm trying to stream, like at this time, I will mostly stream, and sometimes I have training sessions, so I do stream after training sessions, and I will be guest on some podcasts, some local podcasts here. So I just need to tell you that I will be also pretty busy in the upcoming period. Very hyped, but a lot of potential for him, I believe. Yeah, can be a lot of potential. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to tell you that I will also be very busy these weeks. They are trying to, to help me on the local circuit, and they want to, many people want to hear my story in local media. Many people they contacted my sponsor, they contacted me, and they want to hear my story. So it's time to share the story of the Bulgarian cowboy. Really, it's the time to share the story. Oh, what's the podcast about? The podcast is going to be about MMA, but it's going to be in Serbian language, unfortunately. Yeah, there will be some podcasts in Serbian language. It's local, something local. Oh, thank you, man. But I reached there because of you. I'm going to tell you the honest part of my story. In Serbia, I was extremely disrespected because I took another flag, and people here are very much, how to say, they're very much biased. But my coach is the first guy who showed me respect, and my coach tried to push me, but unfortunately, people don't like when somebody has international mind here. If you have international mind, they believe you're a fool in my state. So they rejected, but my coach was able to find someone else, and one of my friends was able to find someone else. So they never gave up. They never gave up, and that's why I have a lot of respect for them. But in Serbia, it's a problem if you have international mind. Yeah, same. If you are outlandish, you get disrespected a lot. So in Jordan, the same situation. It's sad, man. If you're outlandish, they are not going to like you. And that's not okay. Best of luck with your podcast. Actually, it's not going to be my podcast. It's a podcast of one local TV station. It's going to be there. We are always here for you, man, no matter what. That's awesome. I'm very glad. I'm very glad I have very loyal fans, I have a pretty much loyal fan base, and that's something that pretty much gives me wings to continue. And I really want to continue doing this job. And I'm telling you, I reached there because of you. It was not like when my friend went to that TV station and he said, but the guy has international mind. He's like outlandish, And they said, okay, we need outlandish people. And he was like, are you joking? They said, no, 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 we need outlandish. We are sick of local people who talk about local parameters of MMA. We are sick of local people who talk about local stuff. Let's do something international. And my friend said, are you joking, or is it some kind of a sick joke? And they said no. They said no. We watch his channel. We watch Vlad's channel. We know who is the Bulgarian cowboy. We know everything, and we want him on our podcast. And that was awesome. That was awesome. More popularity. It's gonna lead to more popularity. But when you make a story once, it's getting easier and easier. Your work is finally paying off. Yeah, man, finally, after 2 years, after 2 heavy years, my work is finally paying off. They won't be disappointed. Your knowledge is on point. Absolutely, my knowledge is absolutely on point. And they are like, they decided to do something else because that TV station has a rule not to give space to outlandish people. And they are breaking the rule for the first time. For the first time, they are bringing the outlander. They are bringing the person who has international mind. So they are breaking the rules for the first time, and they are breaking the rules obviously because of me. Yeah, they are obviously breaking the rule because of me, and I'm like, what can I say? I was rocked, man. I was shaking. I'm sorry because it will be in Serbian language. I'm sorry because if it was in English, you could have understood, but it's gonna be in my local language. I'm just sad because of that. But that's not a problem. I mean, I'm ready to do more local works, more local podcasts. I'm always ready to do it because it will skyrocket popularity. And this TV station is pretty much famous. So on Wednesday, I will have my first podcast. Just no problem. I'm happy because you are getting a spotlight. Yeah, I'm getting a spotlight, which is awesome. So on Wednesday, they called me today and they announced like they are going to have that we are going to have guests. That we are going to have a guest on Wednesday. And they called me today. They are like, "Are you interested to come on Wednesday?" I said, "Which time?" They were like 2 p.m. I was like, "Oh man, do you really have to do it at 2 p.m.?" And they are like, "We only have that. We can only receive you from 2 to 3." I'm like, "Okay, if that's the option, that's the way to go. Let's go." And yes, I'm happy because of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy because of it, because my hard work is finally paying off. My endless hours of non-sleeping are finally paying off, and I'm gonna get that spotlight. No, I'm gonna get that spotlight. It's just a matter of time before it happens. But you know, I'm very, very glad because of that. Like it's going to have pretty many hits. If I if my coach was able to put me on. If my coach was able to put me on some other TV station, I would have had more popularity. But this is fine too. Also, number of my Instagram followers has grown significantly. Maybe then some Serbian celebrity would want to fight you after that. Maybe absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to mention that. I'm going to mention that. That all local celebrities who are calling me, who are trolling me on TikTok or saying some bad things about MMA. I'm going to mention that in the podcast. Come here. You know where I am. Let's set up a match and let's see how's that gonna go. Because you are extremely strong with words. I'm going to say that. Šta je minutaću live? I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that also in a local TV station. Like, you're extremely strong with words. Fine. Let's set up a fight. One celebrity, I was gonna suggest you call out some of the idiots who disrespected you. I'm going to do that publicly. I'm publicly going to do that. So I'm publicly going to do that. I'm going to say, you guys, there are many local guys who trolled me on TikTok that I don't know to hit etc etc etc. I'm just going to say, everybody who thinks that I don't know to fight and I don't know to think, come to Achille, teach me a lesson. I will be very glad to see that. No, I'm going to call them out publicly. Yeah. Just because, you understand, Mido, you understand my problem because you have the same problem, but you understand because you have the same problem. But imagine like if you don't have the same problem, understand, if you didn't have the same problem, would you understand me? Well, probably not, but you understand me because you have absolutely the same problem. Because people also think that something is wrong with you because you are outlandish. And because you are extremely realistic, which is probably strange in your state, according to your words. Well, let's say strange. I'm trying not to use harsh words, but we are pretty much strange. They're gonna have a big shock if they think you can't go. I don't go Vladisanya for nothing. Yeah, that's awesome. And my coach is also learning me to grapple. Tomorrow I'm gonna go. And tomorrow I'm gonna make transitions for the first time. I'm gonna do transitions, takedowns, takedown offense, takedown defense. I'm gonna have a heavy training tomorrow because on Wednesday I cannot train because of that podcast. I won't be able to train on Wednesday because of that podcast. So I have to train tomorrow, and I'm only gonna do wrestling and transitions. Gladiator. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, but Mido can understand me well, and also you, Ginge, can understand me well. Yeah, they are going to have a big shock because on Saturday I was doing a sparring with one guy, and he was constantly attacking me. But he is my teammate. I mean, he is a good guy, my teammate. And I was constantly doing check hooks. I was switching stances, and he was like, "Can you please stay at one spot for 2 seconds?" I was like, "No way. You're better in toe-to-toe fighting." And he was like, "Can you please stay at one spot for 2 seconds? You are so irritant." I said, "Of course I'm irritant. That's the point, right? The point is not to hit me." And he is a counter guy, a counter guy, and he was marching forward because he was like, man, how are you moving? You're literally moving like a cat. It's almost impossible to hit you. But I was able to irritate one of the calmest guys in the dojo because of my weird movements. He was saying like, "Man, how can you move sideways that much?" I was like, "Because I want to, because I chose that fighting style." He have got to go for a bit. Hopefully, I can come back soon. I will be live for 4 more minutes. I'm also leaving soon. To be underestimated is a fantastic gift to receive. That's the best gift to receive when you're underestimated. That is the best gift to receive. And people in my dojo, they are very respectful. They don't disrespect, they don't underestimate. But, to be disrespected in my local state, that's a fantastic gift to receive because they are going to be shocked after the podcast. They are going to be shocked with how well I performed. They are going to be shocked with what I did, with what happened. And yeah, they are definitely going to think differently after that podcast because they will see how much I know. They think you know what is the funniest thing? Today, when the guy was calling me, he said, "Well, Vlad, some people told us that you don't know much about MMA. We don't believe them." I was like, "We can record the podcast and you will see whether I know or don't know. How does that sound?" And he said, "Well, that sounds amazing." He said, "That sounds amazing. You want to prove yourself?" I said, "Yeah, why not? I'm always willing to talk to people. I'm always willing to discuss, to chit chat. Why not? Why would that be a problem in the first place? Why would that be a problem in the first place? I'm eager to show my knowledge, and I'm eager to spread the word about the greatest sport in the world. I am very, very, very much eager to spread the word and to talk about the greatest sport in the world because that's my strategy. That's for me, MMA is life, man. MMA is literally life. I mean, I respect all the martial arts. I'm not gonna lie, but for me, MMA is literally life. So they gave me a shot, and they are not going to feel sorry for that. They're definitely not going to feel sorry for that. They will see that they made the greatest call they could have made. It was definitely a great call, and I will show it was a great call. I will prove it was an amazing call. I will show it was an amazing call. Because they need something different. I'm going to give them something different. At least that's me. Let's give people something different. Let's let people enjoy. That is the goal. Yeah, to be underestimated is a fantastic gift to receive. I also agree with that. It's always amazing when you're getting underestimated. Exactly. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. When you're underestimated, that is amazing. Just a fantastic gift to receive. And I'm so glad they confirmed it today. I'm so glad they confirmed it. So finally, I'm going to get a shot. Finally, I'm gonna have a shot after so many problems. After like 10 companies rejected me. Remember the package I sent and the key ring I sent? That works against the jealousy. Yeah, I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it. I used to be underestimated when I was skinny and younger. Now everyone is afraid to fight me because I'm 6 feet and I'm ripped. That's awesome. Ginge, I have to carry it. Thank you for remembering me. I need to carry that keyring. I'm going to carry this. Like you have nothing on yourself. I'm going to carry that keyring. Yeah, I'm going to send you photos. I have to carry that. I mustn't forget that. The eye. Oh yeah, the eye, man. Hello, Professor Chaos. Yeah, you're just coming at the end of the stream. Yeah, but I'm just saying that that I'm going to be a guest in my local podcast on Wednesday. So that's just something I need to announce. Tomorrow I'm also going to hang around with you, my lovely lads. Just to announce. Tomorrow I'm also gonna hang around when I come from training sessions. So uh, I will announce. Yeah, you guys also use the blue eye to deflect jealousy, man. Oh, we are the same. Yeah, we are the same. 3:30 or 4 p.m. ET Eastern time. Tomorrow, when I come from the training session, I will stream just to know. And yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we also use the blue eye to deflect jealousy. And you will see a keyring that James sent me. He sent me an amazing keyring. He sent me an amazing keyring. And you will notice how amazing that keyring is. I will wear it. I will wear it when I guest. I have to wear it. I mustn't forget that if they allow me. Some really old people use it here, but I don't believe it that we have one at home. Well, some people do it, some people don't. Some people believe, some people don't. That's like a personal choice. And I'm telling you, like this, when I wear the key lock, when I wear that key lock, they are going to see that this is really a UFC thing. And I'm going to wear the glove. But I hope I'm not going to forget it. I have to write it somewhere. I pray instead and recite my holy book, which works way better. I will pray for you to do well. Thank you, man. It means a lot to me. It really means a lot to me. I have to go now. Sorry, guys. I have to go now. So tomorrow, like 3:30, 4 p.m. ET, I will stream. And we are going to continue this discussion. I really have to get some sleep now. I have a hard training session tomorrow. I need to work. So have a great day, everyone. Catch ya.